Well, the U.S. Congress is responding to the crisis in Ukraine. House Speaker John Boehner says he wants to work with the president on the world hotspot, but blames President Barack Obama for what he says are missteps that may have encouraged the Russian president to move into Crimea. Ebru's Kyle Schmoyer joins us live now from the nation's capital with the latest. Kyle.
Well, Logan, you know, as Secretary of State John Kerry met with the foreign minister of Russia in Paris today, Congress here in the United States was strategizing its next move. And while most lawmakers are on board and say they have to stand in a bipartisan way with the president, some partisan politics still creeping in to this debate. Congress is working on passing a financial package to assist Ukraine.
The majority of leaders working with our committee chairs on a bailout package, also working with them on a possible bill dealing with sanctions that could strengthen the president's hand.
At the same time, Republican leadership in the House is pointing fingers about how the Russians came to overtake Crimea.
Steps that had not been taken over the last 3 or 4 years, frankly, allowed Putin to believe that he could do what he's doing without any reaction from us.
Questions continue in a Senate hearing as well about what U.S. intelligence knew and when.
It was not predicted by our intelligence, and that's already been well known, which is another massive failure because of our misreading, total misreading of the intentions of Vladimir Putin.
Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel pushed back on that, saying he's been in contact for weeks with Ukraine counterparts who are now gone from their jobs.
We were well aware of the threats. When I was in NATO, again, there was a meeting specifically about the threat with the NATO Ukraine Commission. So this wasn't sudden or new that we didn't know what was going on.
Secretary Hagel also confirms the U.S. military is suspending any training with the Russians and stepping up exercises with Poland. But many lawmakers, including Senator John McCain, think the Obama administration already miscalculated Vladimir Putin and his respect of the United States.
He views the United States as weak. He sees our failures in Syria, Iraq, Russian occupation of Georgia, and the list goes on. And I think he is emboldened by that, and he is going to take steps to try to ensure that Ukraine, particularly Crimea and probably eastern Ukraine, will remain part of Russia.
And the House is scheduled to take that vote on the aid for Ukraine tomorrow. There's also a symbolic committee vote on sanctions against the Russians. That symbolic vote, though, will be non-binding from the House committee. Logan?
All right, Kyle Schmoyer reporting live tonight from the nation's capital. Thank you so much for that report.